Welcome to Monday's Lunch and Learn. You got Will here. Caitlin, if you can post any of our pre-submitted questions into the chat.
There you go.
Okay, and John, I've go ahead and unmuted you. You can go ahead and I don't know what question you're asking specifically, but if you want to talk in general, I'm happy to talk about containers.
Morning. We're trying. Well, we're going to move to V8, and we've already sent an email in regards this. It's just getting some prior knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So moving from V5 to containers, what do we need? What's the process basically? What's the basics? Do we just upgrade a database and point at a container?
Mm-hmm.
Does containers do containers give us the benefits we want? Because in previous, when I was working with yourselves directly a couple of years ago, it was V7 was capable of calling a subflow, which then was a container. And I've seen that video online, and that's where I've kind of got the confusion started to grow, and trying to work out what the best approach is really, and does it work for what we need.
Well, it's the whole app now runs in a container, unlike in previous versions where just part of the workflow engine. So the whole application with some restrictions in terms of things we can no longer support, which are, say, a very small set of modules here.
Yeah. Even
though the Python module is incorrect, it's just the container image doesn't have it loaded. But basically, we host containers on, is it our hub?
Yeah.
Actually, Docker repo.
Hub.docker.com.
Hub.docker.com.
Yeah.
I think it's under decisions. Decisions core unstable, decisions core platform. Yeah. So let's see. Let's explore. Get up to the root level. Either way, like you've deployed containers before, right?
Done it in Docker locally and got basics working.
So you basically point like your compose file at a version of the platform, right? So you might say decisions core, just want the root site of decisions. See all of them, maybe decisions latest, that's lastest. Decisions.
Yeah, if you click the decision core hyperlink
there we go. Decisions platform inside of here, there should be.
I don't think it's this. I think that's V7. It's the stable one at the maybe not. I was expecting like yourself.
Yeah, I don't know it off the top of my head. Let me ask really quick while I'm answering this question. Someone will tell it to me. Just a second here. Either way, like in your compose file, you point at an image of the container to pull down, right? Yeah. So do we actually tell you that reasonably well in any of our docs? And so you point at one of these, right? You have a particular version. So you'd see like, 8.7, 8.8.
Yeah. If you go to there and click tags, the first item, in your listing there, decisions platform, and then tags. There you go.
There you go. Right. So you point at latest, or you point at 8.6 or 8.5, and then you point at a decisions database in your environment file.
Yeah.
And it operates like a standard upgrade, like as if you were running the installer.
Okay.
Right. It pulls the container down and it does the upgrade work for you.
Okay.
and it'll upgrade a database from, earlier versions to its current version as if it's a normal upgrade.
So is that
So you're just specifying the particular container image to pull down.
Yeah. So is that a version 5 all the way up to an 8 thing, or do we need to kind of go 5, 6, 7?
I doubt we've tested it from version 5. I know we tested it from version 6. I'm fairly confident we have, but I can't say with certainty.
Okay.
But you might have to do an upgrade to an intermediate upgrade to a newer version.
Yeah, because I went from
ultimately
5
it's just like a VM, right? I call them fat containers. It's just like a VM. The whole app runs in a container.
Cool. So we've got, so then that's the base. So we have a kind of our new database, new database that is just for 8. We're not pointing at an existing database. We've cloned it and we're using that one for the version 8. And then we're kind of moving into the world of high availability clustering. How do we upgrade? What's the upgrade path? So we'll quickly get to a point where we are running 50 nodes. Is it being tested at 50? How do you upgrade a flow across the whole estate? They're the kind of things I'm trying to kind of tease out and get an understanding of as well.
Well, are you running 50 against the same database? Or are you running 50, each of which has its own database?
50 against the same database.
Okay, then you would upgrade. You would import to one of them.
Yeah.
Right, and you would using one of the orchestration services, you would recycle the rest so that they would go offline and come back online, because they're just like VMs. When they come online, they read in all of the updated data from the database.
See, so in AWS, it's kind of that recycle. I think it's called recycle. Okay, cool. I thought it, because in the world of 7 and 6 and before then, it's kind of reboot node and then go to the other node and reboot that node.
Right, but yeah, whatever flavor of orchestration service you're using should be able to cycle those things at will. You can run like flush commands and other things that either all at once or in some kind of order. But that's a question to explore more for like AKS or EKS, not for us. Yeah. But it takes a couple minutes for each container to come online. They don't deploy immediately.
Yeah, because we'll have. So we have then that whole middle kind of issue where it's kind of right. We've got flows in flight, or we've got well, it's not a flow with forms. The flow lasts 40 seconds max. All right. Then we're gonna then we've got to kind of peel off that traffic from them nodes and then reboot them nodes and then push the traffic back to them nodes is what I'm kind of seeing as a better solution. Is that about right?
Sure. Yep.
And then with clustering and high availability, is that I spotted it was commented on in the documentation, but I was kind of, well, how is that done, and where's if you could give us an overview of that, please.
Well, I mean, it's just like a VM still. You have containers, right? Now, if you're using Kubernetes, high availability really comes from multiple nodes, not multiple containers. So Kubernetes allows you to cluster like pods being a group of containers, right? And it can run those pods either on one node or across multiple nodes.
Right.
So ultimately, this is mostly a Kubernetes question, not a decisions question, because as long as those nodes, as long as those the instances in the pods share the same connection string, and now the same Redis server, because there's a new Redis server dependency in version 8.
Yeah.
then they are clustered
Okay.
together. And they're really, that's more of a Kubernetes question than it is a decisions question. Like
Yeah,
how does Kubernetes cluster its pods together? We get clustered by Kubernetes in whatever way it clusters.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of, rather than the old way where it was like, you have a node, which was a server, it's now Kubernetes pods. And because I've always used Docker locally, right? I'm happy with that. It's this new fancy stuff that's not being seen, and it's getting involved. It's quite hard work, right? So yeah, good. So as regards like the use case, is most customers going down this Docker world, either Kubernetes, AWS, whatever the stuff is on Azure, or are they going for a true Windows server still?
Mostly people are still just upgrading to 8 and running on Windows servers.
Yeah.
From what in our customer base.
Yeah. Okay. And what else was I going to say? With the database backend, it's PostgreSQL, isn't it?
It can be, sure.
Can be. So is that now of a maturity that is, high speed, low failure rate, and kind of, tick box?
It's just the same as SQL in terms of stability.
Oh, right. Okay, good.
We have customers running PostgreSDB in production today.
Right. Yeah, because that's where we were kind of like, do we go SQL or not? 'Cause SQL is one of our biggest costs, so massive in price. And is there any limitations? I said 50 nodes, right? All in a Kubernetes cluster. Does it then dependent on how the database is scaled? Is Redis, is there a formula for that, or is it kind of suck it and see type scenario?
No, it's going to be completely use case dependent.
Yeah.
Right. The amount of database transactions per user per tenant is completely dependent on the thing you built.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have a single point of failure there technically, right?
Yeah.
So you might have to get clever if you scaling very aggressively, and then have some sort of like, yeah. We haven't had anyone who's hit that issue yet, so I don't know that we have any internal best practices for how exactly you should scale the database. But it is, if everything's running against the same database, then you do have a bottleneck or a possibility for a bottleneck on the database side.
Yeah, it's kind of the old world of SQL, where before it was like, yeah, one server's enough, and then you kind of go, okay, yeah, you need two, you need a 2 and a hot standby SQL server for high load, high throughput, and that was suck and see, and that's the same as today. Okay, cool. I think I've nailed all my thoughts. Any gotchas in 8? Like so in version 5, the unit tests were of positive results if unit test was empty, if the result set was empty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that flipped over in 8 to
fail? Yeah. Yep. Any unit test ran that doesn't have a rule will run as failed.
Yeah.
We made that change in like 6.10 or something.
Yeah. It's there might be a big a big push to, well, hopefully there is kind of, you know, if a unit test has got nothing in it, then therefore it should fail, which is Terry's thing, right, originally. Okay, cool. Anything else you can want to give in the world of containers?
No, but that's it. I mean, we've got some docs. So if you got any missing, if you just identify anything that's missing on the docs,
Yeah.
you know, just let us know. We've added this suggest edit thing here that makes it real easy to submit
All right, nice
stuff on the doc site.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man.
Cool. Thanks for that.
You bet. All right, Radley, what you got, sir?
Hey, Will. Okay, so this is a unusual one, at least for me. I have a form, and it has a tab container on it. In that tab, and all the tabs, I have vertical stacks, and then layout grids on the inside, just to kind of give you some context that we're talking about here.
Okay.
I have about 21 active form flows. In 3 of those active form flows, I have a one or more set control objects, right? What I'm finding is, if in a separate window within my browser, if I don't have the design view of the form that I'm using, if the design view isn't open, the flows run, but they don't set the value. And I've proved it. I have just a regular Chrome window. I have an incognito mode that I've proved it on, Edge. And then I had a colleague, he also tried it. When I would have the design view closed, the forms would run, but the values wouldn't set. When I have the design view open, it worked fine for him. Now,
the design view
of the form that we're using. So I have one tab that I'm actually using the form, and I have another tab with the designer mode for that form open. Does that make sense?
You can change the behavior of the form by having it open or not?
Yeah. Happy to share my screen if that would help.
Yeah.
I think this is a symptom of a problem. I don't think this is the actual issue, but
okay. Let me make you a panelist here really quick.
All right, you hear me okay?
Yep.
Awesome. Share. Okay, so you should be looking at furlough request form here. Okay.
And yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. So when I switch here between, I'm here on this radio button list here. When I switch between first furlough and midterm, there's a
actually, you're hiding and showing the tab.
I'm hiding and showing a tab, and that's based off of this question here. Does furlough include time at HQ? When I click first furlough, the active form flow is setting this to yes, and then hiding the question, and then the tab is actually working off the answer to that hidden question. So I'm setting it to yes. The tab is saying, okay, it's a yes. I'm going to show. Okay, and if I go to midterm, okay, I'm going to null that value. So I'm setting that back to null, and therefore the tab is hiding because this isn't yes.
Okay.
Cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's this form. I'm in the designer view of the form we were just looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to close out of here. Go back to first furlough. You can see that tab does not show up because this question isn't being set to yes. Also, another example of that would be here when I pick the MP coach email, the name should be showing up here, right? Going to the accounts and pulling the name, and then I'm setting this text box to that name.
And if you go open the edit form again and select that drop-down item, it'll.
Let's prove that.
Is it intermittent or always?
Always. You can see it just showed up again, HQ visit.
Okay. Always?
always.
Then this is some kind of bug you're hitting here. I mean, there's no reason
Right.
that the edit experience should affect the runtime at all, like zero.
Absolutely, absolutely. The only time that
I have no clue.
that this behavior here regarding the radio button list doesn't work
Mhm.
is when I'm in, if I go into debug, if I debug this flow and I come back to my live form, the behavior that we saw with the radio button list, that no longer works regardless. The other behavior still does or doesn't work. But that's been the only other thing. So you have no insight in here. I should submit a support ticket and see what we get.
Yeah, 100%. I won't be able
Okay.
to sort this out for you on this call.
Okay.
Honestly, probably, yeah, I would just say, have you gotten like, do you send database backups to us at all?
I don't.
Okay, is that something that you're able to do? Because this would be trivial. This is probably like a 15-minute recreation if we can get a database backup.
Okay.
From you.
Yeah, I'll see if we're able to do that or not.
Yeah, that'd be my recommendation. But yeah, I mean, that's clear as day that you're triggering that. I mean, it could be worth a restart just to figure out if anything is cached. But if that provides no change, and even then it shouldn't make a difference, right?
Right.
Then you've got some squirrely caching type bug thing that either support needs to recreate, or we'll just pull dev in to try to recreate on your behalf and get fixed for you.
All right.
Yeah, that's nonsense. That should not happen.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You bet. Yeah, sorry I couldn't help more with that one.
Yeah.
That one's I don't even know where to start looking for that one.
No worries.
My troubleshooting chops are decaying by the day as I get out of support more and more.
And this was purely by accident. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Like, it works, and then it doesn't work,
Dude.
and then it works.
Now, the only thing I can relate this to is there have been we've made some changes because, like, at a certain point, like the active form flow would get cached, and so like you'd be editing it, and then it's like it wouldn't be working because it was like running an old version.
Okay.
And I know we've made some changes to that in recent, like maybe the last 2 or 3 versions of the platform. So
okay. I'm
relating it to that, but very, very sort of like, that's a very loose sort of correlation, if you will.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if we can get a support ticket in, and I'm sure they'll be able to especially if they can get a database backup from you, they'll be able to get this into dev's hands quickly for you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. See ya.
Yeah, you bet.
Bye.
All right. Let's see here. Hey, look, I can change you back to an attendee now. Look at that. And I'm going to kill your share, go back to my share, which is, Caitlin, you can see documentation on my screen now, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we got a question here. Where do I put my custom DLL steps for containerized installation? And if my custom DLL works on Windows servers, is it guaranteed to work on container? How to troubleshoot why my custom step does not show up on the containerized? So in containers, you should have to put it. I asked this question while I was talking to John. And the path, I'm going to put the path into the chat here. You need to put it, your custom steps should go in the core services DLLs, and in Linux, it should be OPT, decisions, modules, decisions, local, core service DLLs. That's where your DLL should work. Now, in essence, yes, your assembly, your .NET, your compiled .NET Core assembly should work the same between Linux and Windows. I don't know that we've had any particular issues with that ourselves. I'm sure that there are scenarios or restrictions to that. To that statement beyond what I just said. Yes, that is the path. It's in the core services DLLs inside of OPT. If .NET Core compiled code won't allow for .NET Framework 4 DLLs. Right. Yeah, I mean, it does have to be in the correct version of .NET. That's correct. For sure. For John. You confirm that system.io and system.threading.tasks references would work. I can't confirm that. No, I can. We could get support to work with Dev on to answer that question, but better for you if I know who to reach out to. My anonymous attendee friend. I mean, does system.io and system.threading.tasks work in .NET Core? Then it should work. And then it should. That's probably a better question for us to facilitate by working with someone on the dev team to answer for you. And we don't usually have them on the Lunch and Learns. If you can give us your email, I'd be happy to have someone reach out to you and try to help you answer that question. I'm not even sure the clarifying question to ask there to help get you the right answer, unfortunately. If you can let Caitlin know your email address or who to reach, who we should reach out to, we can pull Dev in and work to get an answer on that for you. Any other questions that we have from anyone today?
Oh, well, in Global Debugger,
Yeah.
when you right click anything, do you get the Global Debugger exploding with rules?
Only if you've got like action visibility rules or something, I think.
Yeah, action visibility rule. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you very well could.
I was expecting it to fire, once, but it's just fills the screen. I don't know if that's a known, a known okay or a bug.
I can't say with certainty. You see, like it just continuously happens over and over again.
It's like it just spews the debugging experience.
Are you on dev or are you on prod or test? Are you on like
on a dev box?
Is it shared?
It's not shared. It's just me on it.
Okay, that sounds. If you right click once and do nothing else, and you see a ton of stuff, then that sounds like a bug.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say for sure. You should see the action visibility rules run.
Yeah, exactly.
They should run they should run, depending on how many you have, yes, you should see a lot of action visibility runs if you have a lot, but it shouldn't be continuous. It should happen once and then wait for another user interaction, I think.
Okay.
Unless maybe there's some kind of back-end process that is accessing folders and firing those off, maybe unintentionally. I don't know. That's that sounds like a bug, John.
Right. Okay.
But the global bugger is probably can be very verbose for sure.
I'll fire it in as a problem, as a bug.
Right. Anybody got anything else for us today? No, we'll go ahead and call it an afternoon.
Have a nice day.
Oh, here we go. Jeremy's got a question. Jeremy, will custom images uploaded in dev move to prod when a project is moved through repo? Or is there something else? Yeah, you need to actually move those independently. So Jeremy's question is about how custom images added to system designers images, custom images get managed on promotion. You should promote those independently of your project. They are not, I don't think, you might be able to include them as items in your project. If there's an import export action on them, you can. But it might be simpler to just make that part of like a code promotion process. I doubt they get picked up automatically.
Okay,
But you might be able to
will
add
them having different IDs in the database
Ooh,
have them unfindable in prod then?
I think it's only by name.
Okay,
That's a good point.
because I'm using them like as an icon for something. So I didn't know if
Yeah.
moving it into production, if IDs are different because they're not just moving across, if that would cause those to break.
That's a fair question.
Because I know I've
see here.
uploaded multiple of the same image before with the same name. Well, I guess it is not the same name. I guess they are different extensions. So maybe I'm overthinking it.
Oh, that's a great question. System designers images. Yeah, to your custom images, right?
Yeah.
So looking at engineering here. Pretty sure these are all by path only.
Okay.
Like it's done by, so like it would be almost like,
So as long
You
as
know,
the
001
same image
barrier.
name is in on both servers, it should
I am-
find it.
I'm pretty confident.
Okay.
If not, then we would need to find a way to promote those between environments for sure.
Okay.
Looks like there's no even portal action. Yeah, it must be. There's no portal actions here.
Now
And
you
those
can only
things are-
add things to the custom images. You can't do anything else. You can't even delete them.
Yeah, so if I look inside of the server, where are these things at? Images folder. Yeah, adventure. I bet these things, yeah, I'm almost certain. I'm like 99% sure these are by path only.
Okay. That's good to know. I just got to remember to upload them both places.
Yep, yeah, you would have to, you're correct. You'd have to ensure that that's part of your code promotion process if you add custom ones to use.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Sounds
good
good.
question. Okay. Anybody got anything else for us today? All righty. All right, thanks everybody. I will be back same time tomorrow. Appreciate the questions and hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah.